I'm going to present a little bit of my journey of my PhD research. I'm going to present this implementation of a strategic sustainability in the product portfolio. So starting with the idea of the innovation process, the idea is like when you put sustainability in the early stages of the product development, there is a higher room to create more sustainable products. But as well, if you include it in the company strategic plan, when they create the vision and the business goals and all these elements where they create the portfolio of the company, if you include sustainability there, there is a higher possibility that instead of having few sustainable products, you can offer more sustainable solutions in your portfolio. So to having this in mind, I started my journey with this literature review, try to understand a little bit of the state of the art of the field, where I can find some gaps and some key factors. Like, for example, one of the gaps is that there is not a very a broad system perspective. Like usually they focus mostly in the manufacturing part, for example, or the end of life of the product when it comes to sustainability. So this is one of the coming back. And as well, we wanted to see the industry perspective. So we went to the company, we collect some data from them, and we identify, for example, these portfolio selection criteria. Like, for example, companies select the products that they will offer in the portfolio, depending the cost, the quality, the innovation that they have. But as well, it is possible to have sustainability integrated in that criteria. So maybe instead of thinking in only the technology advances that you want to say, maybe what about if you increment or you implement sustainability into that specific criteria? So that can be a way. That was one of the outcomes of the descriptive part when we approached the industry. As well, we have the opportunity to do the testing of a tool with a case in GQN about additive manufacturing. We were using this sustainability life cycle assessment tool, where we are trying to put this strategic sustainability perspective, where we analyze the complete life cycle of the product in the different dimensions of sustainability. So we see very big potentials, like we are definitely using this system thinking approach. But as well, we found some limitations, like, for example, high dependency of facilitators. So as well, we continue and we say, okay, we need something to guide companies to try to put sustainability into the portfolio. So we have this idea, like sometimes companies have this portfolio when they can have very profitable products today, but in the future, maybe they will not, because they are not really fulfilling the requirements from a sustainability perspective, or they are not maybe having like a cycle, like a circular system in their process. So they will not maybe be very sustainable and maybe not very profitable in the future. But maybe the company as well have some sustainable products today, but maybe for the amount of infrastructure that it requires, the resources. So maybe today, those products are not that very profitable, but in the future they will be, because maybe they are using renewable materials, so they will not have a problem of scarcity of materials. So the idea is to try to help the companies to find this smart zone when they provide products that give profit, but as well they can be sustainable at the same time. So to find this smart zone. So for that, we create this very complicated name for our method that is called the Strategic Layer Double Flow Scenario Modeling for Sustainability Risk and Portfolio Management, the STARDUST method. I know it's very long, but we call it the STARDUST. It's easy. So we included here, besides the portfolio management, the risk management, because we wanted to see what will happen in the future. So this STARDUST method has 4 steps. In the step 1, we analyze the different events that may happen in the short, medium, and the long term that those events that can affect at some point the products that will be in the portfolio. In the step 2, we do an assessment of the sustainability where we identify sustainability hotspots in the different stages of the product life cycle for the short, medium, and the long term. In the third step, we do a market success assessment where we evaluate the portfolio selection criteria in the short, medium, and the long term. And in the fourth step, we visualize the results of the sustainability and the market success performance over time in order to identify some actions and strategies that might help the company to improve their portfolio. So for doing this, we tested the method with prospect and DQN in some specific cases, and we found some limitations. We still have some dependency of the facilitator. It's necessary to have a better understanding of how to model the different scenarios. And as well, we have a great comprehension that definitely this is a very complex issue and a complex field. And as well, we found out that the 4 steps are not really completely connected. And definitely we need to explore more the stakeholders' motivation. So that's why in the second version of the method, we try to include digitalization and a game-based approach, where we wanted to make the method a little bit easier for the companies to use. So the idea was to try to adapt the STARDUST. So you can see here in the first part, the templates that we were using are very static templates. So the idea was to try to use templates that were more dynamic, and they helped the assessment of the process. And as well for the digitalization, we include more graphics, interactive graphics and interactive data that we're been using, very useful for the communication of the process. And as well the visualization that we were using these graphics that were changing according with the assessment of the process. And as well we include this game-based approach where we include some serious games, but as well these gamifications where the users were collecting some points in the meantime that they were using the tool. And the idea was that they collect some the points and exchange the points for some rewards to get more tips about sustainability. So that was the thing. We had positives and negatives, of course, of the use of the tool. But one of the positives is definitely the users found this strategic sustainability perspective that is necessary to understand what will happen in the future, how they need to select these specific components of the portfolio. And as well, we found some specific opportunities. Like, for example, we use it in some courses in BTH. And definitely we found a very interesting part that it can be used for training in industry and academia. We definitely can integrate, now that it's digital, we can integrate with other tools and use the outcome and the data from other tools. And we can link that with other tools. We can explore more in the data visualization to make easier the usability of the tool. And of course, try to better model the future scenarios, how that can be happening. And of course, with the gamification, we find out that it's possible to engage the stakeholders' participation, and as well all the tools give the possibility to the users to have a holistic perspective and awareness that, of course, these opportunities that we can continue exploring. So that's for me. Thank you.